Yeah, I normally don't like to get super deep into these type of political conversations because politics is just a big, uh, it's just a big narcissist. But freaking, so I've been having, it was, I got this perfect thing going on right now where got this one buddy who's straight up totally into the Democratic thing. Got another dude that he's a Trumper, and like it's funny like how these people both like listen what they believe, what they're getting fed. One's from the net, the other's from mainstream media. You know what I'm saying? But some of this news about Trump is like, who's saying this? Where is this report even coming from? Like these people got these streams of this super alternative media, and it's kind of it's like what they're really playing really hard on the neocons. That's neoconservative, which is really kind of like they're soft Nazis, and they just don't see it yet. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side, you got these other guys. They're almost socialist communists already. And this is part of the fucking KGB secret takedown plan through demoralization and ideological subversion. You know what I'm saying? But from what I'm hearing, it's like I get this, man. It's like, look, what I'm sensing from it, like people are like, oh, it's a distraction. No, it's more strategic than that. It's a fucking diversion. It's a fucking pretext. It's also a time to gain, to entangle and snare other people and wrap them up in this. Like, look, it's kind of like, okay, if you are gonna jump somebody, right? This is what a conspiracy is too. Not a theory. Look, just conspiracy, the law term, where two or more uh, before a crime plan to commit a future operation. That's the definition of conspiracy, where two or more, freaking more likely more. Look, but uh, now if you're gonna jump somebody in advance, right? You get the guy that's gonna come out, and he's fucking like, look, he's gonna come out and he's gonna put up his dukes and shit, right? Freaking and while you're engaged with him, once you commit and start to come in, all he's got to do is kind of look. Just he just waits, kind of block. It's kind of like look, flail about. You know what I'm saying? Look, and then right when you get totally enveloped in the what's going on, you can't see behind you, and the dudes, his friends, come and try to hit you, freaking in the back, basically in the side of your face, freaking, and then once they get you on the ground, then they all jump on you, and look, and I feel like with what's going on right now, that's what I'm seeing with this. Like if they, like it's a diversion tactic. You know what I'm saying? There is some real like look potentiality in it being a real strategic, economic, or look life and death struggle for power. Like no power hungry person that ever was granted power has ever gave the power back. They really don't. Freaking they cling to that stuff till they till they fucking die. But it seems like with the look, it seems to me like look, with the sanctions and shit, it's only a sanction on goods. It's not a sanction on fuel and shit, dude. Like look, so these sanctions that they're totally punishing them with are actually only causing inflation and all our rates to go up. So that's a pretext, dude. That's a problem reaction solution. Now they're hurting the economy. So look, war always boosts the economy. Like this other guy has this thought that all the jobs are gonna shut down and they're gonna start building tanks and shit. But it's like, yeah, people still get paid for doing that. And then big business, big companies, man, big industry, corporations just uh, just freaking eat it up, devour it, man. That's the military industrial complex, the privatized part of the government, the shadow government. This is all pertains to that. All these people benefit when we suffer. And now, I mean, listen, here's the crazy thing about it too, brother or sister or whatnot. Freaking look at that cat. He's seen that. He sensed that movement. It's like with the pandemic, with Agenda 21, freaking, and it's 22. It's 2000 catch 22 now. Freaking, this is starting to really feel like we are riding through the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And this is, look, looms, there was the white horse, freaking, I mean, that's some kind of pestilence, which is a sickness, and then a famine, freaking, and with the way they've attacked small business and infrastructure here in America, and how they've outsourced, and we're super dependent on our supply chain being connected to all these foreign countries that they force child labor for us to get these materials. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it's not regular folks that did that. Regular folks didn't give your jobs. They didn't give no one permission to do that. You didn't ask them to do that. It's like, so what if it's an extra 50 cents, but we buy it from local people? You know what I'm saying? So what? But the black horse freaking comes preceding that, which is, and think about it, the economy crashes if your crops fail. I mean, and with them messing with the weather and just the turbulent time that we live in, freaking, like, look, there's really, the waves are roaring, and the earth is just, there's earthquakes in diverse places, and there's riots going on, and ethnic groups rising against ethnic groups. This is all signs that's from Matthew 24, okay? But that parallels big time with these four horsemen also. Freaking, the red one's war, you know what I'm saying? And it's also the beast, freaking. So in a way, if the way that they're saying that, oh, this sickness came from bats, this is the batshit flu, you know what I'm saying? Or there's other animal names they've attached to these diseases. They even said AIDS came from some guy in Africa banged a monkey, you know what I'm saying, and then had prostitutes, and it just spread to gay people in America. I mean, listen, if you really look at that, it's like, look, that's gotta be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's just gotta be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But look, that's one of the things, actually, it says it kills with the beasts. And how? Like, look, through, in some cases, with them putting stuff in a thing, and hitting you with it. I mean, listen, even steroids is like, it's growth hormone from fucking cows, man. It's bovine, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Freaking, I could be wrong, but it's basically like they take their testosterone, kind of like muscle shit from the cow, from its nuts, shoot that shit in you, and then you get all jacked up, you know. But for instance, I'm just showing how or look, like I was saying, in that, when I was talking in that death from above conversation, dude, it was like the flea bomb. They wanted to fucking take a bunch of plague infested fleas and just drop them from the sky over enemy territory. Okay, you, like, imagine if you did that with freaking bed bugs. You know what I'm saying? Freaking, how quickly you could cause chaos in somebody's, like, spot. And that's one of the ways that scripture could maybe unfold as well, dude. But it's also, there's supposed to be like horsemen in this army. I mean, is that just an allegory, or literally is somebody actually, they're gonna be like the Mongolians again, and like Genghis Khan, and use that technique? Like, look, say in an EMP situation, freaking, where all the vehicles technology stopped working, if you had a bunch of horses like that, man, that would be freaking, look, you would have if we went, listen, like Albert Einstein said, World War IV. Look, we're thinking ahead to World War IV, where, it's just a big frickin', wasteland that, like, the whole earth looked like Baghdad, like, dilapidated buildings, like, blown to pieces, just smithereens, just kind of hanging out. Yeah, man. Actually, you'd be having a helly strategic advantage with that, in that situation right there, in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the four horsemen, and the horseman army. I mean, that's also to kill with the beast. If they're riding on the beast with fucking machine guns and they got chariots and shit, and there's niggas on there with sniper rifles, wah 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 wah. That's also using the beast of the field. Or like you go back to the frickin' middle, to the Europe in the Dark Ages when they used to frickin' grab a person and then tie his legs and his arms to a frickin' four horses, and then they slapped them horses on the ass, and they'd all run in different directions and pull the guy into pieces. I mean, that is frickin' horrifically savage. That's so civilized. That's the civilization right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the fruit of civilization, dude. Because society is a frickin' narcissist, and these narcissists are power. Look, this is a power grab. It's wealth redistribution at the same time. And even with the way they're expressing NATO, is NATO the fucking, like, look, there's a part where the beast comes out, it's got 7 horns, grows 3 more horns, an extra horn, loses 2 horns. Like, look, some of this ways these countries seem to be making alliances right now, freaking, and how history repeats itself, and certain things like that happen in World War One and Two, where were certain countries on one side were allies, but then they flipped or went rogue. You know what I'm saying? At another time, and I mean that's how flimsy alliances really are, freaking, like in treaties and shit. Like, listen, being a Native American, my grandma used to tell me this all the time. They reneged on the treaties. All the treaties with all the different tribes, freaking, they reneged in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and look, it even says that in the Bible somewhere. Like, look, they'll make a false peace agreement. You know what I'm saying? That's a treaty. And then they renege on that shit. So these are like, look, the Bible isn't about no passive type of observer. No, you're bearing witness, man. You're actually paying attention. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you a testimony when you see these things that are happening. So, it's real easy for me to whip out 15 minutes on this vid because, look, I'm already been watching for years, and just look, I've been waiting for it, and it's freaking. But that's another tactic they could be using, is where they theater it a little bit, and in a way it makes it real and fake at the same freaking time, but it still brings it about in prophecy either way. So it's kind of like like my buddy says this, the evil's piggybacking on the good. And so that's the same thing with, like, look, the evil's piggybacking on the good. It seems like they're doing a good thing, these sanctions, but really that means more inflation for us. I mean, look, it seems like they're doing this shit intentional, because look, really they do want to bring in some kind of global fucking currency. So this is a perfect time for the Great Reset, and it's like, really, it's a pretext. They've been planning this. Georgia Guidestones. Look, Iron Mountain, report from Iron Mountain, the book Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, freaking the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Look, there's all these freaking books where they have been plotting and scheming and planning, and it's a real conspiracy to bring these things to pass, dude. Freaking, and Albert Pike ww3 letter to Muzzini. Like, look, I mean, dude, there's a fucking multitude of, they've left a multitude of freaking information that you can, it's not even that hard to freaking acquire. You know what I'm saying? Freaking, it's out there. All you got to do is just give it attention for a minute and hear it out. Even the Willie Lynch papers. Look, this has been a long freaking program to, look, it says they will make merchandise out of you. And that means basically you're bought and sold and traded like slaves. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to weasel us into that no man shall buy, sell, or trade. No man shall buy, sell, or trade situation. Freaking, that's their ultimate goal, is to, like, basically, look, that's the end socialistic, communistic, authoritarian goal, is where they really want to mark you like cattle. Like they used to brand cattle, and they want to somehow trick you into somehow assuming ownership over everyone. Like, look, they're trying to finagle it, weasel it, trick, con, scheme, using, it says their sorcery has deceived the nations. And you know, that's what we see going on right now. Like, people are definitely big time deceived. People perish for lack of knowledge. Freaking, and it says, "Be ye not deceived."